My people, today's video, you know what? Let me not even say anything first. Let's just let the clip roll because,
How would black people survive on this planet if white people didn't exist?
we would have been thriving peacefully. We are happy people, yes, but we would have been a lot more happier. And also would have been healthier too. This fake food that's killing people, nature has blessed us and given us what we need that is good for the human consumption. But you people say no, since people want to control everything, oh, now let's make fake food. And the fake food now is doing harm, damage to the human body. If you people did not exist, we would not have this fake food that's causing all of these issues. People would have been eating a lot more healthier. They would have been a lot more healthy. For one, racism wouldn't exist. And also we can throw in the fact that tribalism wouldn't exist as well, because for those who know the history, you know, or we know how these people deliberately created intertribal wars, intertribal conflicts during colonization. So the whole tribalism thing that we are dealing with right now wouldn't exist. Hell, I've even made a video on it here for those of you who haven't seen this video. Yeah, basically a white South African talking about how they created, intertribal wars, tribalism basically here on the continent. That's his confession on what they did here on the continent. You can check the video out if you want to. And also this whole rat race, hamster on an hamster wheel situation called capitalism that is keeping us constantly stressed. Yeah, capitalism wouldn't exist. Earth, for one, would not be polluted. Generally speaking, the world would be a far more better place if you guys didn't exist. It's very ironic that this question is coming from him. This question is actually supposed to be asked the other way around. We are supposed to be the one asking, how would white people survive if black people didn't exist? But it's ironic that he's asking, how would we survive if they didn't exist? Show you the wine mini. Not be these same people now the Moors help pull out of the dark ages. People who, for goodness sakes, did not even know that they needed to be taking baths. Not to talk about taking baths constantly. Hell, it's 2023. We still see them coming online, proudly talking about how they don't bathe. A lot of the diseases that we're dealing with right now would not have existed if you people did not exist. Hello? The diseases that came with you people during colonization would not have existed. You people were literally killing off people with your blankets. Imagine, oh my goodness, imagine the blankets that you use. It was killing off people. Because una not agree bath, una not agree bath. Walking around like, just living, breathing viruses. As anywhere you go, una just they spread them, unaliving people with the disease you carried around. But these are the people that are asking us how we would survive if they did not exist. How would we survive if white people didn't exist? The same way we did for hundreds of thousands of years before white people even mutated into existence. The same way we did in the ancient Great Zimbabwe, in the Kingdom of Kush, in Mali Empire, in the Songhai Empire, in the Benin Kingdom, in the Congo Kingdom, in the Oyo Empire, in the Zulu Kingdom, and all the other kingdoms and empires we had. The same way we did before your ancestors looked around and saw that they could not fairly compete with us because they do not compare. So they decided to go around, colonize, steal from, and enslave people to enrich and save themselves. Like I have said plenty of times, one look at you people's museum tells us all we need to know about who needed who. So again, the correct question is, how would white people survive if black people didn't exist? Get it right.
Now, some people might think of this as a joke, but this is actually a very serious question. There is nowhere on this planet an example of a self-sustaining and successful and thriving black community.
Because people destroyed all of them. All the successful, thriving black communities, you people destroyed them All. You brought them down. All of them. Both here on the continent, both in the diaspora. We know what you guys did to the, thriving Black communities in America, United States of America, for example. Tulsa, very good example. They freaking had Black Wall Streets. Thriving towns, thriving communities. You people burnt them down. You people buried them with water, turning them into lakes. These people speak like we don't have good idea of history. Like when they did all they did, it flew over our heads. We can't remember anymore. You people came to Africa, destroyed the kingdoms, empires that we had here. City of Benin, what did you guys do? What did you guys do in Zimbabwe? What did you guys do in South Africa? You destroyed all the thriving, successful Black communities, Black empires. You destroyed all of them. Because you people cannot fairly compete. Because you people do not compare. In order for you people to be up there, every other person has to not be doing anything. That's the only way your force superiority can stand. In order for you people to be up there, you have to destroy every other person's own. But you want to sit up here and talk about, name a place where there are Black thriving communities, successful Black communities that are thriving after you've destroyed all of them. But let's continue.
I mean, let's take Africa, for example. The whole world is constantly providing aid and supporting Africa from all over the world, from America, from Europe, from Russia, from China. All these major self-sustaining countries are constantly providing aid and helping Africa survive.
What you reference is not aid. It's capitalistic colonization, because European colonialism is alive and well in Africa today. And America, Russia, China, all of them are jumping on the bandwagon. Why, you may ask? Because Africa, by far, contains the most mineral wealth of any continent on this planet. Oil, copper, gold, diamonds, all the precious metals are found in Africa, as well as timber. That is why all of these nations you mentioned want to get a foothold and colonize in Africa today. It is not Africa who needs Europe. It's Europe and America who needs Africa.
What would France look like today if they were not getting all of that $500 billion forced colonial, post-colonial taxes that they're still taking from their former colonies? Let's talk about that. What would Europeans of Europe and America, United States of America, be looking like if they can't get our resources as easily, or rather still, they can't steal our resources as easily as they are stealing them right now? What would the standard of living for Europeans be if they can't get our resources? Let's talk about that.
Same thing here in America. We have all these programs like Section 8 housing, welfare, food stamps to help out the Black community. So it is a real question. How would Black people survive and self-sustain if white people did not exist?
So is it only the Black community in America that are benefiting from food stamp, welfare, housing, and all of that he mentioned? Is it only them?
Section 8. Let's make this quick, because your stupid ass could have just Googled this. But about half, 49%, of projected base Section 8 recipients are white. About a third, 33%, are Black, and 13% are Hispanic. That's Section 8. Moving right along. Next. Welfare. Something else you could have just Googled. You would have discovered that 75.2% of the welfare paid in 2020 went to retired workers and dependents accounts. And you would also discover that 36.5% of welfare recipients are white, while 25.8% are Black.
This whole system that we have, this whole world hunger, poverty issue, homelessness issue only literally exists because you guys exist. Before you people came into the power that you people have collected by force through bloodshed, world crime against humanity, right? Let's call these things what they are. All the arrow warding and pillaging and unaliving of people globally that you people did to position yourself where you people are today. All of these issues did not exist. Various races of people, communities of people, ethnic communities, whatever, they had their own system going and everybody was well taken care of. Homelessness, orphanage. In Africa, there were no orphanages before colonization. There were no prisons before colonization. All of this insanity that we are dealing with right now, people are having depression, all this extra stuff, they didn't exist. For me, it's just the audacity of these people. Oh, they exist, they did all of us a favor, they came and colonized us and civilized us. Civilized us. People were not even supposed to path. People whose blankets were killing off people. But yeah, the world we live in, right? But guys, let me know, what are your thoughts? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
How would black people survive on this planet if white people didn't exist?
Real quick, this video response is not to him or really towards his community as a whole. I don't care about him. I don't censor them. I don't even engage with them outside of a work or academic setting, so it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I do not want any young black people to see that video, whether you are American, Caribbean, African, European, wherever you are from. I don't ever want you to see content like that as a young black person or a young black body and not know your history and think that things like this are true. If no one told you, I'm here to tell you today. The reason why today we do not have any thriving and successful communities underneath our own 2 feet is because at every turn, at every opportunity for us to rebuild, at every opportunity for us to break away, they have burned us down, they have stabbed us in the back, they have sabotaged us on purpose. The answer to the question is sitting right there in the video. The reason why none of them are still standing, none of the thriving communities, is because right now they under lakes. Our ancestors are underwater. They've been pillaged by fire. There's been points in American history where our own government sanctioned violence, bombs being dropped out of the sky on inner cities right here in the United States of America. That is why we do not have thriving communities. Not because we're not capable, not because we don't come from royalty, not because we're not kings and queens, not because we're not competitive, not because if given the same opportunities, the same rights, the same fairness, the same equity as every other community, we probably lap everybody 38 times. There's a reason behind their madness. There's a reason for racism. There's a reason why they keep us underneath their thumbs and their foots on our necks, because if they let go of us for even a second too long, the power we possess will overpower everything that they've ever done. Everything from the jewels on that woman's head before she died to the very inventions that you use every day in your everyday life have probably come from a black body. I want y'all to know y'all history, and I want y'all to know y'all power, because you come from somewhere and you are somebody. Even more so, I implore these younger generations coming up, I want y'all to read. I want y'all to read as much as you possibly can. I want y'all to attain as much knowledge and information to empower yourselves as you possibly can, because the further we move away from the things we learn from these people, the closer we'll be to the true and absolute God. The closer we will be to freedom and liberation for our people. The sooner we stop trying to be in proximity and assimilate to whatever they got going on and remember and return to the roots of who we really are as a people, the sooner that all this hell, turmoil, and strife will stop. Because I guarantee you the hoods right here in America and the hoods overseas on the continent of Africa look real fucking similar right now.
But the question is supposed to be the other way around, though. The question is supposed to be the other way around.